Book 7, Gardens and Firelight. As Lord Odysseus prayed there in the grove, the girl rode on, behind her strapping team, and came late to the mansion of her father, where she reined in at the courtyard gate. Her brothers awaited her like tall gods in the court, circling to lead the mules away and carry the laundered things inside. But she withdrew to her own bedroom, where a fire soon shone, kindled by her old nurse, Eurymedusa. Years ago, from a raid on the continent, the rolling ships had brought this woman over to be Alcinous' share, fit spoil for him, whose realm hung on his word as on a god's. And she had schooled the princess Nausicaa, whose fire she tended now, making her supper. Odysseus, when the time had passed, arose and turned into the city, but Athena poured a sea fog around him as he went, her love's expedient, that no jeering sailor should halt the man or challenge him for luck. Instead, as he set foot in the pleasant city, the gray-eyed goddess came to him, in figure a small girl-child, hugging a water jug. Confronted by her, Lord Odysseus asked, "Little one, could you take me to the house of that Alcinous, king among these people? You see, I am a poor old stranger here. My home is far away. Here there is no one known to me, in countryside or city." The gray-eyed goddess, Athena, replied to him, "Oh yes, good grandfer, sir, I know. I'll show you. The house, you mean. It is quite near my father's. But come now, hush, like this, and follow me. You must not stare at people or be inquisitive. They do not care for strangers in this neighborhood. A foreign man will get no welcome here. The only things they trust are the racing ships Poseidon gave to sail the deep blue sea like white wings in the sky or a flashing thought." Pallas Athena turned like the wind, running ahead of him, and he followed in her footsteps. And no seafaring man of Phaeacia perceived Odysseus passing through their town. The awesome one in pigtails barred their sight with folds of sacred mist. And yet Odysseus gazed out marveling at the ships and harbors, public squares, and ramparts towering up, with pointed palisades along the top. When they were near the mansion of the king, gray-eyed Athena and the child cried out, "Here it is, grandfer, sir. That mansion house you asked to see. You'll find our king and queen at supper, but you must not be dismayed. Go into them. A cheerful man does best in every enterprise, even a stranger. You'll see Our Lady just inside the hall. Her name is Arete. Her grandfather was our good king Alcinous' father. Nausicaa by name, son of Poseidon and Hereboia. That was a great beauty, the daughter of Eurymedon, commander of the Gigantes in the olden days, who led those wild things to their doom and his. Poseidon then made love to Hereboia, and she bore Nausicaa, Phaeacia's lord, whose sons in turn were Rhexenor and Alcinous. Rhexenor had no sons. Even as a bridegroom he fell before the silver bow of Apollo, his only child, a daughter, Arete. When she grew up, Alcinous married her and holds her dear. No lady in the world, no other mistress of a man's household is honored, as our mistress is, and loved by her own children, by Alcinous, and by the people. When she walks the town, they murmur and gaze, as though she were a goddess. No grace or wisdom fails in her. Indeed, just men in quarrels come to her for equity. Supposing then she looks upon you kindly, the chances are that you shall see your friends under your own roof in your father's country." At this the gray-eyed goddess Athena left him, and left that comely land, going over sea to Marathon, to the wide roadways of Athens, and her retreat in the stronghold of Eurystheus. Odysseus, now alone before the palace, meditated a long time before crossing the brazen threshold of the great courtyard. High rooms he saw ahead, airy and luminous, as though with lustres of the sun and moon, bronze-paneled walls at several distances, making a vista with an azure molding of lapis lazuli. The doors were golden guardians of the great room. Shining bronze plated the wide door-sill. The posts and lintel were silver upon silver. Golden handles curved on the doors, and golden too, and silver were sculptured hounds flanking the entranceway, cast by the skill and ardor of Hephaestus to guard the Prince Alcinous' house. Undying dogs that never could grow old. Through all the rooms, as far as he could see, tall chairs were placed around the walls and strewn with fine embroidered stuff made by the women. Here were enthroned the leaders of Phaeacia, drinking and dining with abundant fare. Here, too, were boys of gold on pedestals, holding aloft bright torches of pitch pine to light the great rooms, and the nighttime feasting. And 50 maids-in-waiting of the household sat by the round mill, grinding yellow corn, or wove upon their looms, or twirled their distaffs, flickering like the leaves of a poplar tree, while drops of oil glistened on linen weft. Skillful as were the men of Phaeacia in ship-handling at sea, so were these women skilled at the loom, having this lovely craft and artistry as talents from Athena. To left and right, outside, he saw an orchard closed by a pale, 4 spacious acres planted with trees in bloom or weighted down for picking. Pear trees, pomegranates, brilliant apples, luscious figs, and olives ripe and dark. Fruit never failed upon these trees. Winter and summertime they bore, for through the year the breathing west wind ripened all in turn. So one pear came to prime, and then another, and so with apples, figs, and the vine's fruit empurpled in the royal vineyard there. Currants were dried at one end, on a platform bare to the sun, beyond the vintage arbors and vats the vintners trod, while near at hand were new grapes barely formed as the green bloom fell, or half-ripe clusters faintly coloring. After the vines came rows of vegetables, of all the kinds that flourish in every season, and through the garden plots and orchard ran channels from one clear fountain, while another gushed through a pipe under the courtyard entrance to serve the house and all who came for water. These were the gifts of heaven to Alcinous. Odysseus, who had borne the barren sea, stood in the gateway and surveyed this bounty. He gazed his fill, then swiftly he went in. The lords and nobles of Phaeacia were tipping wine to the wakeful god, to Hermes, a last libation before going to bed. But down the hall Odysseus went unseen, still in the cloud Athena cloaked him in, until he reached Arete and the king. He threw his great hands around Arete's knees, whereon the sacred mist curled back. They saw him, and the diners hushed amazed to see an unknown man inside the palace. Under their eyes Odysseus made his plea. Arete, admirable Rhexenor's daughter, here is a man bruised by adversity, thrown upon your mercy, and the king your husband's, begging indulgence of this company. May the gods' blessing rest on them. May life be kind to all. Let each one leave his children every good thing this realm confers upon him, but grant me passage to my fatherland. My home and friends lie far. My life is pain. He moved then toward the fire and sat him down amid the ashes. No one stirred or spoke until Alcinous broke the spell, an old man, eldest of the Phaeacians, an oracle, versed in the laws and manners of old time. He rose among them now and spoke out kindly. Alcinous, this will not pass for courtesy, a guest abased in ashes at our hearth. Everyone here awaits your word, so come then, lift the man up, give him a seat of honor, a silver-studded chair. Then tell the stewards we'll have another wine bowl for libation to Zeus, lord of the lightning, advocate of honorable petitioners, and supper may be supplied our friend by the larder mistress. Alcinous, calm in power, heard him out, then took the great adventurer by the hand and led him from the fire. Nearest his throne, the son whom he loved best, Laodamas, had long held place. Now the king bade him rise and gave his shining chair to Lord Odysseus. A serving maid poured water for his hands from a gold pitcher into a silver bowl, and spread a polished table at his side. The mistress of provisions came with bread and other victuals, generous with her store. So Lord Odysseus drank and tasted supper. Seeing this done, the king in majesty said to his squire, A fresh bowl, Pontonous. We make libation to the Lord of Lightning, who seconds honorable petitioners. Mixing the honey-hearted wine, Pontonous went on his rounds and poured fresh cups for all, whereof when all had spilt they drank they fill. Alcinous then spoke to the company. My lords and leaders of Phaeacia, hear now all that my heart would have me say. Our banquet's ended, so you may retire, but let our seniors gather in the morning to give this guest a festal day, and make fair offerings to the gods. In due course we shall put our minds upon the means at hand to take him safely, comfortably, well, and happily with speed to his own country, distant though it may lie. And may no trouble come to him here or on the way. His fate he shall pay out at home, even as the spinners spun for him on the day his mother bore him. If, as may be, he is some god, come down from heaven's height, the gods are working strangely. Until now they have shown themselves in glory only after great hecatombs, those figures banqueting at our side, throned like ourselves. Or if some traveler met them when alone, they bore no least disguise. We are their kin, Gigantes, Cyclops, rank no nearer gods than we. Odysseus' wits were ready, and he replied, Alcinous, you may set your mind at rest. Body and birth, a most unlikely god am I, being all of earth and mortal nature. I should say rather, I am like those men who suffer the worst trials that you know, and miseries greater yet, as I might tell you. Hundreds, indeed, the gods could send no more. You will indulge me if I finish dinner? Grieved though I am to say it, there is no part of man more like a dog than brazen belly, crying to be remembered, and it must be, when we are mortal weary and sick at heart, and that is my condition. Yet my hunger drives me to take this food, and think no more of my afflictions. Belly must be filled. Be equally impelled, my lords, tomorrow to berth me in a ship and send me home. Rough years I've had, now may I see once more my hall, my lands, my people before I die. Now all who heard cried out assent to this. The guest had spoken well. He must have passage. That tipping wine they drank their thirst away, and one by one went homeward for the night. So Lord Odysseus kept his place alone with Arete and the king Alcinous beside him, while the maids went to and fro, clearing away the wine cups and the tables. Presently the ivory-skinned lady turned to him, for she knew his cloak and tunic to be her own fine work, done with her maids, and arrowy came her words upon the air. "Friend, I, for one, have certain questions for you. Who are you, and who has given you this clothing? Did you not say you wandered here by sea?" The great tactician carefully replied, "Ah, Majesty, what labor it would be to go through the whole story, all my years of misadventures given by those on high. But this you ask about is quickly told. In mid-ocean lies Ogygia, the island haunt of Calypso, Atlas's guileful daughter, a lovely goddess and a dangerous one. No one, no god or man consorts with her, but supernatural power brought me there to be her solitary guest. For Zeus let fly with his bright bolt and split my ship, rolling me over in the wine-dark sea. There all my shipmates, friends, were drowned, while I hung on the keelboard of the wreck and drifted 9 full days. Then in the dead of night the gods brought me ashore upon Ogygia into her hands. The enchantress in her beauty fed and caressed me, promised me I should be immortal, youthful, all the days to come. But in my heart I never gave consent, though 7 years detained. Immortal clothing I had from her, and kept it wet with tears. Then came the 8th year on the wheel of heaven, and word to her from Zeus, or change of heart, so that she now commanded me to sail, sending me out to sea on a craft I made with timber and tools of hers. She gave me stores, victuals and wine, a cloak divinely woven, and made a warm land breeze come up astern. 70 days I sailed in the open water, before I saw your country shore, a shadow upon the sea rim. Then my heart rejoiced, pitiable as I am, for blows aplenty awaited me from the god who shakes the earth. Cross gales he blew, making me lose my bearings, and heaved up seas beyond imagination, huge and foundering seas. All I could do was hold hard, groaning under every shock, until my craft broke up in the hurricane. I kept afloat and swam your sea, or drifted, taken by wind and current to this coast where I went in on big swells running landward. But cliffs and rock shoals made that place forbidding, so I turned back, swimming offshore, and came in the end to a river. To auspicious water with smooth beach and a rise that broke the wind. I lay there where I fell till strength returned. Then sacred night came on, and I went inland to high ground in a leaf bed in a thicket. Heaven sent slumber in an endless tide submerging my sad heart among the leaves. That night and next day's dawn and noon I slept. The sun went west, and then sweet sleep unbound me, when I became aware of maids, your daughters, playing along the beach. The princess, too, most beautiful. I prayed her to assist me, and her good sense was perfect. One could hope for no behavior like it from the young, thoughtless as they most often are. But she gave me good provender and good red wine, a river bath, and finally this clothing. There is the bitter tale. These are the facts. But in reply, Alcinous observed, "Friend, my child's good judgment failed in this, not to have brought you in her company home. Once you approached her, you became her charge." To this Odysseus tactfully replied, "Sir, as to that, you should not blame the princess. She did tell me to follow with her maids, but I would not. I felt abashed and feared the sight would somehow ruffle or offend you. All of us on this earth are plagued by jealousy." Alcinous' answer was a declaration. "Friend, I am not a man for trivial anger, better a sense of measure in everything. No anger here. I say that if it should please our father Zeus, Athena, and Apollo, seeing the man you are, seeing your thoughts are my own thoughts, my daughter should be yours, and you my son-in-law, if you remained. A home, lands, riches you should have for me if you could be contented here. If not, by Father Zeus, let none of our men hold you. On the contrary, I can assure you now of passage late tomorrow. While you sleep, my men will row you through the tranquil night to your own land and home, or where you please. It may be even far beyond Euboea, called most remote by seamen of our isle, who landed there, conveying Rhadamanthus when he saw Tityos, the son of Gaia. They put about, with neither pause nor rest, and entered their home port the selfsame day. But this you too will see, what ships I have, how my young oarsmen send the foam a-scudding." Now joy welled up in the patient Lord Odysseus, who said devoutly in the warmest tones, "O Father Zeus, let all this be fulfilled as spoken by Alcinous. Earth of harvests, remember him. Return me to my homeland." In this matter they conversed with one another, but the great lady called her maids and sent them to make a kingly bed with purple rugs piled up and sheets outspread and fleecy coverlets in an eastern colonnade. The girls went out with torches in their hands, swift at that work at bed-making. Returning, they whispered at the Lord Odysseus' shoulder, "Sir, you may come. Your bed has been prepared." How welcome the word bed came to his ears. Now then Odysseus laid him down and slept in luxury under the porch of morning, while in his inner chamber Alcinous retired to rest where his dear consort lay.